Hey, good morning, White County. Don Strength from the White County Office of Emergency Management. We're broadcasting to you live this morning. A lot of folks beginning to wake up and look outside, and we have got some problems with ice this morning, just as we expected that we would. We are getting reports of scattered patches of ice on just about every road countywide. We also just got one report from one of our med units that's returning from the hospital in Gainesville, and they're reporting that Highway 129 is almost impassable. They're estimating that it's going to take them over an hour to get back into the county from Gainesville. So at this time, White County Public Safety is encouraging everyone to stay off of the roads. We do have reports of slick spots just about everywhere countywide. And we're also getting reports of slick spots on the main state routes on East Cattle Street, east and west of Cleveland, Highway 115, east and west, 129, north and south. We also have reports of icing in spots on 75, Helen Highway, and 75. And now those roads have been treated. Actually, they've been treated multiple times, and we're still getting ice buildup on these roads. So you can only imagine what the secondary streets and roads across the county are looking like now. They haven't been treated. So we're now at a place where travel is extremely hazardous anywhere across White County. We have a mixture of sleet and snow currently underway. The frozen precipitation started around midnight last night, and it's been pretty steady ever since. Most of that period has been freezing rain, but in the last hour or so, we've changed over to a mixture of freezing rain and sleet. And primarily sleet. If we can pull the radar up, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, and you will be able to. We've got some photographs of what it looks like outside as well. This is outside of our public safety complex here on Helen Highway, just north of Cleveland. That's out in our back parking lot there. We have housing for our 911 personnel and emergency management administration. And I think we've got a couple of other shots from around different places around the county. That's a look at Yona Preserve, the entrance gate out there off of Asbestos Road, and you can clearly see the sleet falling out there. And then I think we've also got Freedom Park in Cleveland, and the ground is becoming white. That is from sleet, not snow. I would love for all the precipitation to change over to snow for the rest of the day, but I'm afraid that's not going to happen because of our particular setup that we have going on. Our temperatures below freezing only in the lower 3,000 foot of the atmosphere. Above that, we've got temperatures in the 40s and 50s. That overriding warm air over that shallow layer of cold air is what's causing this whole mess across the southeastern United States. There's a current radar shot, and you can see that the pinks and the orange that's showing up on radar is primarily sleet. Then, if you'll see the yellows and greens, that's where the freezing rain is taking place back off to our northwest. So, we have changed over to a mixture of sleet and freezing rain, primarily sleet at this hour. And this whole mess is far from being over. The precipitation stretches all the way back to Dallas, Texas. So we've got all of that to go as we go throughout your Sunday. And if it, there's a very, very short window of opportunity after about 3 o'clock this afternoon where temperatures could get above 32 for an hour or two, and then we go back into the deep freeze tonight as that bitter Arctic air spills in from the north. Um, Bryce zoomed out there for just a few moments, but we're looking at a single radar shot, so you can only see back to around Birmingham. If we switch back to the MMRS, you'll see That's what I'm talking about. Look at that, would you? That rain, precipitation stretching all the way back to Dallas, Texas, up into Oklahoma. All of that is moving off to the east. So every bit of that still got to come across North Georgia. So we have actually, it goes all the way back into New Mexico now that I look further back to the west. So we have got a long way to go before we get out of this precipitation. And we are going to be either at or below freezing 90% of the time that all of this stuff moves through. So we're nowhere near done. As a matter of fact, we're really just now getting started. Um, we have not received any reports of power outages anywhere across the county. We're watching that very close. But I did go outside a few moments ago and looking at the trees. The limbs are already beginning to sag somewhat. But the longer we can hold on to sleet, that's good for us. We do not want to go back to freezing rain. I think we will at some point, but the longer we keep the sleet, the better off we're going to be with that ice load on trees and power lines. Sleet does not accumulate on trees and power lines nearly as efficiently as obviously liquid rain does when it freezes. Sleet will accumulate on trees and power lines, but not as quickly. So the longer we can carry just sleet, the better off we will be. But I'm awfully afraid we're going to switch back over to freezing rain at some point this morning. And then that ice load is going to continue to accumulate very quickly. And then we'll start having tree limbs snapping off and we'll start losing parts of our power grid across the county. So that's what we're looking at right now. We are encouraging you not to get out there on the roadways. Do not drive this morning. You are where you are, and that's where you should stay until it becomes safe to drive out there on the roadways. I want to remind you not to call 911 unless you have a true emergency. If you have loss of power, don't call 911 unless that loss of power is causing a life safety issue. If a power line falls and maybe it's still energized and it's starting a fire, absolutely dial 911 for that. But if you just lose power, please try to refrain from calling 911 so we can keep those emergency lines open for true emergency calls. I can assure you the power company is monitoring their entire circuit. The second you lose power, they're going to know it immediately. And we have got a huge crew of power company folks here and ready to back up HEMC and Georgia Power the moment we start having power issues across the county. Here's the intersection of 129 North at Halsey Road. I believe that's where we're at. And you can see there that it looks like the grassy areas and maybe even the roadway is wet, and maybe there's a little accumulation taking place out there in that intersection as well. That's Appalachian Parkway at Halsey Road, and that's a live shot this morning. So that's the update as we have it right now. Again, we do have frozen precipitation falling countywide. And we are encouraging everyone to stay off the roads. And just looking at that shot there, it looks like you're paying attention to what we're telling you, and that's very good. We have already had to send a side-by-side out to assist a med unit that could not get down a hill. That was over on the eastern side of the county. So we've got firefighters and EMS units out there doing their job this morning, and they're reporting to us that there are several slick spots around the county. And the road conditions are getting in such that our battalion chief has just advised all of our firefighters to go ahead and put their chains on their fire trucks and rescue units. So travel becoming very dangerous across White County. Please stay off of the roadways. We will continue to update you throughout the day as conditions change. We start to see issues in certain parts of the county. We will come back live and we'll keep you updated here on White County Public Safety. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to us and staying off of the roads. Be safe, and we'll talk to you again soon here on White County Public Safety.